What is up? What is up, fight fans? Welcome in. Fun show tonight. Not only are we going to preview UFC Belgrade, first UFC card ever in Serbia, so we're making a little bit of history on Saturday, but we also get to laugh at me because I said a lot of things last week that didn't come true. We all make some certain predictions, but I do want to bring it over to someone that I know at least won a couple of slips last week, and that is, of course, the star of the show, the long shot legend, the man, the myth himself, Matt Tanner. Matty Betts, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm still devastated over fucking Ankalaev's rear naked choke attempts. Bro, I just wanted to stick it. I didn't even care about it. Was literally 70 grand I would have hit if he got that choke. But money aside, I just wanted to stick it to everyone that said that was the dumbest bet in UFC history. In hindsight, I would have bet that 5 times in a row again, bro.
Did we really have to watch a former world champion that didn't know how to put his hooks in to secure a rear naked choke last week? Did we really have to go through that?
Ankalaev, bro, and like the whole Dagestani look, and like, bro, he was dead in the waters, dude. Just submit him.
Yeah,
it was so sick. And then I have all these yo-yos on the internet saying that's your own fault for betting that. That was a horrible bet. I'm like, bro, he had 3 submission attempts officially. He probably had 5 submission attempts unofficially. And then the ground and pound is just – the sickest thing is I told you I liked Ankalaev decision at 4-1 as well, and then that would have been a sick beat if I was on that.
Yep. What about if your model gave out sub or decision at plus 200 something and both looked really good, and then all of a sudden we got the saddest TKO in UFC history instead? It was a weird main event. I don't know. Obviously, the cycle RIP died its full death before the card even started. Islam Dulatov fell off the card due to a sickness. Congrats, by the way, Gabby, on a couple of long shot parlays this week. But
my chalk parlay with Dulatov finishing it, it didn't even matter. It turned into a straight bet, and then what's his name fucking was the fraud of the century, bro. People throw around the fraud word too much. That guy was actually a fraud. Ribeiro has no takedown defense, no chin, nothing, and you can't finish this guy.
Right. It was in addition to, we had some fraud checks on the card. It was not a good week for me. I came on here as the Sam Patterson and Walter Walker skeptic a little bit. That didn't go very well. Both of those guys performed just as we expected them to. I like this comment we got, Matty. You're always one away from a huge hit. It's got to come through at some point. We call that regression, and we got a lot of options. So we got 14 fights.
My life is what we call that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the slots aren't going too bad. So it's there's always a give and take in this stuff, but just like my UFC stuff not doing well, WNBA is going pretty well. So
I want to say one thing before we start this breakdown. Ankalaev it's fair to say he's boring in general, but like that fight being boring was not his fault, bro. It takes 2 people to dance. I mean, Guskov was on his back foot running away the whole fight, which was not like him. Like, obviously there's some fault on both sides, but like, I just don't like the whole narrative that Ankalaev doesn't deserve shit after that fight. Like, I'm not an Ankalaev supporter or fan, but like, he was on the front foot the whole fight. Guskov was laterally moving. He was on his back foot. He did not want to scrap with him. So like, you can't really blame Ankalaev for being boring in that fight, in my honest opinion. And I haven't heard anyone else say that.
Yeah, I think that is a good take. Guskov had such a tough challenge in front of him because we know how good Ankalaev is.
It's like, bro, just go fucking slug with this guy. You had no chance. We talked about it. It was KO or bust. And it's like, what kind of game plan was that? You're not going to beat this guy over 5 rounds on short notice.
And light heavyweight is now in all sorts of disarray. Paulo Costa, I guess, is a name you could put forward for a potential title shot. Of course, Olberg is on the shelf. We don't know what's going to be of Yuri and Khalil Roundtree. That kind of those two already fought, so it's like, what do we do for those guys? And we have an interesting co-main event for that division as well. But as I kind of turn the page, we always like to look forward, and we like to look in prop markets here. The UFC Belgrade, we have 14 fights on this card. If there was ever a week for 2 cycles, just by inventory, we got in there with that many on the card. But a lot of debutantes, a lot of new fighters. It's a little bit of that from last week. I got a little bit more model action than last week, so we'll go forward and maybe accept or reject some of these heavy favorites. I currently count 11 fighters around that minus 200 or higher mark. So it's another week where we got to go chalk, underdog, and pick our spots carefully. And that may start here in this first fight up at strawweight. We got Marina Spasic taking on Stephanie Luciano. So this is an opener here at strawweight. Luciano, we've seen in UFC before, coming off a third round submission of Maria Oliveira, and now Spasic makes her UFC debut from Serbia. So you theoretically think maybe she's in a prop up spot here, but Luciano's the minus 310 favorite. Matty, what's your opinion on Luciano? Because she's been around a bit. I don't know whether she's been kind to you or not. And what do you think of her skill set?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've bet on her fights. Did we have the submission in her last fight against Oliveira?
I think I played inside the distance in that fight, so the submission was a little bit of a surprise. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was her first career pro sub.
Yeah, that was October 2025.
It was her first career sub.
Yeah, she had 2 KO TKOs prior. She went to a split decision with Sam Hughes. I barely remember that fight. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but that's interesting. Luciano's a big favorite here.
She is. I kind of understand it. So I dove into Spasic a little bit. The problem you get in, especially with these Serbia promotions, you get a lot of Brave CF, you get a lot of Octagon MMA. There is really a dearth of competition, and so Spasic is not the biggest girl in the world, but even she's towering over her regional opponents. She lost by decision to Marina Murchuk from Russia just last November. So I didn't even think she was necessarily going to get a Dana White Contender Series sniff. She's got a kickboxing background, which is an interesting fight against Luciano, who's more Muay Thai. But I almost wonder if Luciano, rounding out her skill set, she got the submission in her last fight. She had to go twice up against Alan Carr. It's kind of that experience. It's that development. And I'm wondering, does she then have the grappling upside to be really something Spasic hasn't seen before? So I was going to check out the submission prop. I don't have it at this book I'm looking at right now. But I like Luciano. I'm a little scared. Texas Timbers. So we're naming hot South Florida food spots in the chat. I love it.
Stay on Poppy's Steak or the restaurants in Miami. That's a good call.
Yeah, that's a good call out. But over 2.5 rounds here is minus 275. So I'm guessing that Luciano sub number is not going to be terrible. But other than that, this is probably a competitive women's strawweight fight that is primed to go the distance. Otherwise, not really any KO danger on both sides. And I think Luciano's the bigger girl here, which really matters in women's MMA.
Yeah, I think Luciano decision priced properly minus 110.
Okay.
The submission at plus 425 could be interesting though.
Is that at Hard Rock that you saw that?
Hard Rock.
Oh, okay. Hard Rock's always on top of it for us, having all those. I'm going to pull it up so I can see.
Bro, they've been on top of it in general, except I hate how they don't have totals or props on PFL, bro. That drives me. I couldn't even bet PFL last week. I was like, I'm not betting all these ridiculous money lines. Like, it's just frustrating not be able to bet totals and props, especially in something as established as PFL. It's just frustrating.
Luciano sub plus 425. I can dig it. That's a good enough number that I think I might dive in.
I'm a chase on
that. So you look at Spasic, 0 pro wins or losses by sub, and I'm watching her tape for 20-25 minutes. Not really any grappling whatsoever. She's got a kickboxing background, has been matched up favorably. So I don't know. Maybe we'll sniff something out there in the first fight, but I definitely don't want to parlay Luciano's money line. I think it'll be too close. And ultimately, you think probably they're trying to give the Serbia a bump, especially first fight out.
Fair enough.
All right, so we'll move forward here. We're going to stay with our Serbian friends here at heavyweight. We got Jovan Leka taking on Alexander Popic. This is a last-minute fight. Leka initially scheduled to face Max Jimenez, but Popic, former Contender Series guy, he's been on the regional scene in and around UFC and PFL a long time, and he finally gets the call here. I actually have action on this fight already, Matty, so I'm curious what your thoughts on it. Did you catch Leka on the Contender Series?
How long was that Contender Series fight?
For Popic?
Yeah.
19. It was against Jamal Hill, of all people.
I was going to say, so long. He got TKO'd elbows from Mount late in round 2.
The kid's got to put some respect on what Jamal Hill was when he was before his Achilles tear, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he's fought a lot since Contender Series. Wow. What's he plus 172?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a light guy at heavyweight, 205.
He's stepping in short notice here. So I'm guessing he'll probably weigh in like 220, 230, somewhere in there.
Agreed. Yeah, I haven't taped Leka at all. What's your thoughts on him?
Well, his Contender Series fight against Aftolayev, I may have said that incorrectly, but the gentleman from Nuftalayev, I'm sorry, Azamat Nuftalayev from Uzbekistan. I tape. You look at that fight, not a lot happened. Leka landed a whopping 1.6 significant strikes per minute because it was a heavyweight slog that just ended up in the clinch when both of them got tired. Really disappointing when Leka was this highlight machine regionally, but you never know the level of competition that these guys are going through, and the cardio concerns are a big deal. Now, he's a big boy. If he gets top position here, I think against Popik, it could be the end of the road just because he can't get up. But when I look back at Popik's resume, PFL Contender Series against Taylor Johnson, he fought Jamal Hill, he fought Rob Wilkinson from PFL, he fought Duško Todorovic. He's had a lot of high level experience for a long time, and he's never quite been able to break through, but I value the Octagon experience. It's with a real promotion, unlike Leka, where it's been a little bit more of the plumbers, the garbage men, that sort of thing. And he's 8-1 there. Super powerful double legs, good ground and pound. I think at least his defensive wrestling against the fence can be really good here. I'm worried about the Leka cardio angle. I already played Popik at moneyline for 1 unit at plus 175, and I think 2-3 is natural for the cardio discrepancy, but probably KO because Leka, I guess, has a jiu-jitsu credential, but you really couldn't tell from the Contender Series fight. It was super ugly.
Yeah. I mean, Popik by decision, he could also bank rounds 2 and 3.
Yep.
And that's plus 475. Or no, hold on. I'm sorry, Popik by decision.
Yeah.
On the cardio angle, plus 475. Or if you like the sub for Leka, it's plus 425.
Yeah.
I think Popik's been subbed twice, right? And then Leka's 4-0 to the submission. He's 11-0 to the finish. So
yeah,
I think you look at both of those angles there.
Yeah, I mean, this fight is very good for Popik if it's standing. In his last fight, it's 15 minutes of standing, really agile for the weight class at 205. I don't think offensively he puts combos together super well, but like there's always a scale at heavyweight, right? It's like if Leka starts to slow down at all, and Popik I just think is a better athlete, at distance I think favors him considerably. I think I'm probably going to play like a 2-3 KO small at a decent number, but I really like. I honestly think Popik could win light heavyweight fights in UFC. It's a poor division. I think he's got great wrestling, great ground and pound. Whether or not he gets past this, I was pretty impressed by the tape. But Leka's just big, and that's an obstruction. We saw him. You remember when Martin Buday fought Sadi Baldiv? Yeah. And it felt like Sadi Baldiv was the better guy. He just couldn't handle Buday in the clinch, and he couldn't get him off of him. Could be a little bit of the same thing, but I don't mind finding out at plus 175.
Yeah. Popik round 2-3 KOs, 15-1 and 20-1, bro.
I'm in.
Yeah. Maybe like a 1-2 submission angle for Leka and a 2-3 KO angle.
Wow. Wait, a lot of Popik love in the chat, surprisingly. It is short notice for Popik, but I think not having to cut weight will be a big deal for him. He's a pretty big boy at light heavyweight.
Yeah. For sure.
So, and this is a golden opportunity. So we'll see if my film study, dude, I felt so good about my Izgak Maiev read against Abubakar Vagayev last week, the knockout at 12-1. You tailed me on it.
Oh my God, bro. Another sick beat.
It felt like he just had no idea how ahead he was in the stand-up because he was landing clean in that third round, and I thought we had it, dude. I played third round.
I had a monster day, bro. Even after all the big slip wins, I was like, I was sick. I felt like I had so many good reads.
Yeah.
And I had so much action, bro. I had like 60 grand worth of bets. So even after hitting like 55, 60K slips, it fucking went even, dude. I was sick about it.
Yeah, we got some Leka love in chat popping in as well. So a little bit of two-way action, which we always like to go through and discuss. But we'll move forward here at the risk of me just not knowing what I'm talking about in that fight. We'll move to another fight where I might not. Nina Milosevic taking on Haley Cowan. This at women's bantamweight here. Odds are a little incorrect on the screen. Milosevic actually, by the way, is up to minus 530. That line is moving against Haley Cowan, who comes back at plus 360. Matty Cowan winless in UFC thus far. She's taken on the Serbian. Did you see my Twitter poll that I put up? I said, would any random 135-pound woman from Serbia between the ages of 21 and 35 be favored over Haley Cowan this weekend? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if this line is necessarily accurate. Of course, you got to favor what you think is a favorable spot, but what do you think about Cowan in this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, bro, Nina by finish is plus money.
Oh, is it really? Dang.
Plus 110. I mean, she has 4 fights have gone the distance out of her 9 fights, and those are like regional fights. So, but it is women's MMA at the same time. But like Haley Cowan is so low level, bro. 7-5 professionally.
Yeah.
I kind of like the finish at plus 110 just because she's vulnerable to the submission as well.
Yeah. So in my notes on Milicevic here, a really ugly strength of competition. So in her last fight, Milicevic got this girl from Egypt who shot herself into a takedown, and all 3 rounds got reversed and could not get back up. Really good stuff out of her. And then a few fights ago, she went to a decision with a 2-7 jiu-jitsu specialist. So I think the opportunity is there for Haley. At this point, she's the one with the high-level experience, and I'm not talking about just UFC. You look, she's had Alice Pereira. I like her. Nora Cornell, not bad. Jamie Lynn Horth really ascending in that division as well. So it's not been the easiest schedule for her. And then you also go back even further to LFA, which I kind of regard a little bit higher than Milisevic's regional competition. And she's not really finishing anybody in there either. Really sloppy stuff, not digging for underhooks properly against the cage. I feel like her combinations at striking range are very, very iffy, to say the best. And look, Cowan looked like she's been getting better at extreme couture in her fight against Alice Pereira. She controlled her most of the first round. I thought we were on upset alert until Pereira found that shot in the second round. I think it's dog or pass here, man, especially at plus 360.
The finish is plus money, bro. I think it's a trap.
I think it's a trap too, and I think the longer Cowan hangs around in this fight, I think she's got better striking to score. The Cornell thing, she got reversed, got her back taken, but she went the distance with Jamie Lynn Horth. Other than that, I guess she does have 3 losses by tap out, but it's just tough for me when Milicevic has had all this back time against these regional opponents and hasn't tapped them either. So it's like maybe the over is free money, but I'd be very scared of parlaying Milicevic here.
Bro, Haley's 3 inches bigger, 4-inch reach advantage. She's plus 550 on the scorecards, dude.
Dang.
I think that's a good look, especially if she's improving on extreme couture.
Yeah, no submission danger. So
could be a good look.
Who was the last girl that she faced? She got a rear naked choke in Invicta in 22. I'd be surprised. I agree with you. I think that Cowan points number is not bad at all.
Yeah, that's a good
one. Cowan, to me, feels like that poisonous name where everyone's like fade. But I don't know, man. You look at her Instagram, she seems pretty locked in and in good shape. I know she's training at Extreme Couture. It feels like she's still – it's not just showing up for a paycheck. It feels like she's really actually trying to get better.
Yeah, that's fair.
These are those dogs, man. They're dangerous, and nobody wants them, and everyone just kind of mindlessly clicks on the Serbian flag here, and that was my takeaway. But we'll see. Milicevic might continue to embarrass me. I've been like this in recent weeks. So, but the good news is I was down last week, which means I actually really do feel good about this Serbia card. So hopefully Haley Cowan might be able to help me out a little bit because I am going to play her money line. It just keeps growing, though, so I'm just going to keep waiting. So, wow, interesting. Nina's a dude. She's going to sub her so fast. It's interesting how I'd like to ask you why didn't she sub those girls on the regional scene then? But I digress. Let's look at this next fight here, bro. Lightweight, we got Mateusz Rebecki taking on Kyle Prepelic. Matty, Mateusz Rebecki is a big favorite. What could possibly go wrong here? We've actually seen him lose in this exact position to Diego Ferreira. The Grant Dawson fight didn't go his way. It feels like he's been in all these wars, but really hasn't gotten his hand raised in any of them except against Oralby somehow. His career makes no sense. He's taking on a guy that's 0-4 in UFC. So is this as easy as it looks like from the odds maker's perspective, or what do you think of this matchup?
I don't think it is just because Rebecki has so much scar tissue. He's got a close distance here, and he's going to eat a lot of shots on the way in. And then Prepelic looked good against Drew Dober, so it's tough. I think the odds are definitely wild. I mean, if Rebecki's smart, he'll just fucking grapple, but who knows if he'll actually do that. There's no props up on Hard Rock on this fight. I don't know why. Just because it's shorter notice?
I mean, it could be this, Matty. Rebetsky was like low minus 500s earlier today. He's minus 720 now, at least right now.
On Hard Rock. Someone in the chat said they got him at minus 300.
Yeah, I mean, he's been increasing. I see the props down there, as you were saying, so that's kind of interesting. I wonder if it is
a sprinkle on the Prepelic TKO just because of a doctor stoppage.
Well, we got a comment that the fight's not for 3 days and Rebetsky's already started bleeding. I get that, like the Nate Diaz scar tissue angle.
I mean, I don't think Prepelic is a bad striker. He's longer. He's rangy. I do want to see what the Rebecca's sub is, though. I don't know what that price is. I don't know if you see it anywhere.
Well, we got some people giving us lines here. I'm going to check offshore. I'm going to sail the seas. But
sub. It sounds right for a minus 500 favorite with the grappling upside.
And interestingly enough, my model doesn't have an input for scar tissue, but this was one of the most convincing model results I've ever gotten. I have Rebetsky at minus 306. I have KO plus 239, sub plus 289, and decision plus 395. So I don't know if I'm even there on any of those, just because the juice is getting so far out of control. But it is a little bit risky. Like you said, he's a smaller guy. He gives up size to everyone, but I think the grappling is his path here. Prepelic 45% takedown defense. Problem is Rebetsky, we've seen him get tired. And he kind of takes the same approach every fight where he wings overhands to make it work until like he's able to work his way to those grappling exchanges. He wasn't able to submit and get Nick Fiore out of there. The problem is Prepelic's just giving me no hope, man, other than being big. I guess the Dober fight was going okay for him, but he did get steamrolled in that
one, wasn't it?
Can't
remember.
Could make the argument. I did not go back and watch that fight in full, but I did. I mean, I would say he lost both rounds, at least on the numbers, by efficiency. And so
yeah, fair enough.
It's one of those things where I agree with Rebetsky heavy favorite, but now it's getting a little unnervingly big.
Fair enough.
So I don't think we were going cycle there, Prepelic or otherwise. Kyle can coast to a decision by working the jab. It's possible. His length is a real advantage in this fight. I just have a hard time seeing him stuff the takedowns, and Rebetsky's top control is quite good.
What would you line Rebetsky Drew Dober at?
You know what I would play in that fight 100%? This is the most me thing ever. I would play Rebetsky KO in that fight. Yeah. I think Dober's been through, they've both been through some wars. The attrition's big there.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's do a pick 'em.
Yeah, I'm trying to read through the comments and make heads or tails of it. If once he's exciting, similar to Michael Chandler, I think so. Yeah, and this is close to home, by the way, for the guys in Poland, for the guys in Austria, whoever it might be. So it's a little bit of a home game for them. And Rebetsky has fought really good competition that he's lost to. Yeah, you look back, Prepelic gave up 3 takedowns, nearly 6 minutes in control time to Austin freaking Hubbard. So yeah. I know that was a few years ago, but it's like, I feel like there's a skill discrepancy here, but Rebetsky's a guy that's bit me in a lot of spots. I liked him against Dawson. He started the wrestling in that fight and then ended up getting himself submitted. Like, I just don't think the IQ is always on point for him.
Yeah. I mean, for a guy with 10 KOs against a guy with scar tissue, that price is pretty wild.
What is it?
People are saying 10-1 in the chat. I don't know. I don't have a number.
Oh, okay. I've got like 18-1 on Prepelic KO. Decision for him, I've got plus 470, which I agree. I think it's hard to envision some finishing upside against a guy who's gone through as much crap as Rebetsky is, but the doctor's stoppage could be a real thing.
Yeah, that's possible.
And then we got another vote for knockouts. So I guess we're all just taking guesses there, which means the best angle might not be. I have Rebetsky ITD minus 123, by the way. And it is... I'm taking a look. It's minus. Oh no, that was. Where is a Rebetsky finish? Oh, it's minus 145. So I'm a little bit behind there too. Yeah. That's no fun. Yeah. So I guess I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna do there, because I usually, even to my own detriment, I try to pull an angle out of every fight. So we'll take on and we'll see what angle we can find in this one. I haven't talked to you about this one, but this is actually low key kind of a banger here. Bogdan Grad taking on Dennis Bazooka. These guys both all action, all entertainment, and not a ton of W's thus far. I guess Bogdan Grad is 1-3. Bazooka is still looking for his second UFC win as well. What do you think of this matchup, Matty? Grad is minus 196 on friendly soil here.
It's interesting because if you remember, I had the Bogdan Grad decision against Riley. He grapples him up all of round one.
Yeah.
And comes out and gets fucking left hooked early in the round 2 in the first 30 seconds. I think Bogdan Grad's kind of solid, but Bazooka has a good wrestling background, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not?
So I think it's interesting. I do think Bogdan Grad can still get takedowns, though. I just don't know that he can hold him down. It's a tough one for me. I think Bogdan Grad gets the nod, maybe a Bogdan Grad by decision angle, but I'm definitely not confident. I think this could be an underdog spot.
Decision is intriguing. I've got the fight modeled 54.6% likely to go the distance, and I have Grad decision plus 210. Do you have a number on that?
I think so. Yeah, plus 175.
Oh, okay. So I'm a little bit behind there. Man, I gotta say, this is one of those weird gut feeling fights. I have not played it yet. Yeah. I kind of like Bazooka here, dude. Yeah. It's like a weird feeling of it,
the worst KO I've ever seen. It would be a lot easier to get there on him, but man, that was a vicious KO.
Yeah, it was vicious, and it's like I was looking back. You know who Bazookias had to fight in UFC? He got Barbosa, Francis Marshall, Jamal Emmers, Sean Woodson. They threw him Connor Matthews in there in the middle. What'd you say?
Very hard opposition.
I mean, it's crazy. Whereas I feel like, I'm a little bit less bullish on Grad's previous opposition, where the Luke Riley loss looks better certainly than it did when it happened. Yeah. Muhammad Naimov is not a guy I hold in particularly high regard at all. And then Aswell, I'm not even sure he won that fight against Aswell. We saw what happened to Michael a few months ago, where at the very least he's beatable. So I'm a little bit higher on Bazooka's competition level, and then even then, his per minute efficiency is a little bit better as a striker, and that's what I think this is. I think these guys are both outstanding wrestlers. I think it devolves into a sloppy striking match. I've got Bazooka KO plus 482,
plus and I on Hard Rock.
What is it?
Plus 400.
Oh, okay. What's Bazooka points?
You're kind of like the decision for Dennis at plus 475.
That's where I guess I'll be too. I've got it plus 348.
Yeah, I mean, Bogdan Grad's only been finished twice. They were both KOs. One was Luke Riley. The other one was Tom Nolan. So both big power punchers. So I kind of like the Bazooka decision angle. If I had to pick a decision, I would go Bogdan Grad, but at the price, plus 175 versus plus 475, I think you have to go with the underdog there on the scorecards. Maybe like a decision or something.
Could see this being pretty darn competitive, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I think it's good matchmaking. Like, Grad to this point, not a ton of power, no knockdowns yet in UFC. Bazooka, not really either. In fact, look at the guys he's facing, though. They don't really get dropped by anybody. But I'm with you. I think it could be a competitive fight. I don't mind that Bazooka decision angle. We got a comment in the chat. Bogdan been training with Nathaniel Wood. That's Nathaniel Wood inside the featherweight top 10. It's a good thing. I was really surprised when Grad went out against Luke Riley so quickly, but now we've seen Riley has kind of blossomed a little bit. So
I think Luke Riley's legit, bro.
Me too. At least in the form of being able to do that to Bogdan Grad, it makes a lot of sense in hindsight. Yeah. But Riley's probably knocking out Bazooka in the first round too.
I agree. Yeah.
So was unconscious for like okay. So I understand the big KO angle here, but Bogdan isn't really a hitter. And that's where I'm guessing the most likely outcome in the fight on sportsbooks is Bogdan KO because of that, correct?
Yeah. Bogdan KO?
Yeah.
Plus 325.
That's not bad. I mean, I'm at plus 398, but I thought it'd be a little bit more overvalued.
Yeah, I like this fight to hit the cards, bro.
That's so contrarian and sharp because of the damage that Bazooka took.
Fight to go the distance is minus 110.
Yeah. I will say, guys, when when you think about knockouts and attrition and things like that, I know the medical suspensions come out for big KOs. I would so much rather have a guy that had what happened to Bazookia, where he was just out on one big shot, than like the accumulation of damage thing that you've seen with some other fighters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the beating Ponzinibbio took last week over a longer period of time. That to me is so much more concerning for future attrition.
Yeah, I agree.
Like we've seen guys get sparked. Like Bilal Muhammad got sparked by Vicente Luque way back in the day, and he's one of the most durable guys in UFC.
Yeah.
So it can happen. But we'll move forward here in the interest of time. We got this next one up here. Another sleeper for Fight of the Night. I feel like Fight of the Night's going to be hotly contested in this one. Mark Vologdin taking on Borislav Nikolic. This, Matty, is Vologdin's third fight in a UFC octagon setting. The other two were crazy because he blocks punches with his face. Rather than any sort of defensive fundamentals. I think that's sort of priced into the line because Nikolic is minus 186 making his debut here. But what do you think about Nikolic in this particular matchup for Vologdin?
I think Nikolic is the best favorite on the entire card.
I mostly agree.
I don't see a finish price. It's off the board on Hard Rock. He's minus 185 right now on the money line. I think this Mark guy is just so overrated just because of his exciting fights, but bro, he's 5'3". He could get KO'd here. He could get doctor stoppage. He could get submitted. He could lose on the scorecards. I'm blown away that this guy's not minus 300 against him. I'm honestly blown away.
I think a little bit of that could be, he's making his debut and stuff, but I feel like this matchup is sort of more dangerous for Vologdin because one, Adrian Martinetti and John Castaneda, they're not really like one punch and go power threats. This is a big guy. He fought at 140. He wouldn't be out of place at featherweight. I'm sure he carries a lot of power. I actually was impressed with Nikolic's boxing. I feel like his takedown defense is very good when Vologdin has been very unimpressive wrestling thus far. I do think the UFC likes Vologdin, so it gives me a little bit of hesitation here, but at a certain point, these guys, I talked about it with Jose Daniel Medina and a few others. When you have the outlierishly bad statistics like absorbing 10 significant strikes a minute, typically you can't recover from that to then become a net positive UFC fighter. And this line isn't even that big. Think of the numbers Medina was against Zach Reese or whomever. Vologdin's plus 144 here with those frightening defensive peripherals. So I agree with you. I like Nikolic a lot here. I had him circled on the short list for a potential safe parlay leg, and I feel really solid about it. I do.
Yeah, I think all three paths are on the table for him. I think he wins wherever this fight goes.
Wow. We got a lot of Vologdin love in chat. It's very interesting. I love to see that. Yeah, it's like I feel like he's popular, but and also he's got like the thing he trains at All Stars. That's where Hamzat's from. Bernardo Sopai, Vologdin ass cardio. I don't know about his cardio, but definitely defense.
Yeah, his defense is terrible, bro.
Yeah, my fear here is a rope-a-dope where it's like so bad early that Nikolic gets tired and Vologdin ends up with the comeback. But I love Vologdin, but I can't put coin on him. I'm interested to see what you guys say, but I think it's pretty much as simple as that. I haven't seen Vologdin's had good offensive output, but I feel like he gets crushed in these firefights, and he's going to be on the wrong end of. Look at that guy's arms, probably 5 inches of reach, 6 inches of height. It's not good. Not good.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess we're in agreement into the safe parlay. By the way, RIP safe parlay. I would trust my guy Dustin Jacoby again, man. That Muhammad Saeed kid.
That was brutal to watch.
Yeah, I mean Saeed was so fast, and like I said, I would pay to see someone beat Jacoby in a kickboxing fight like that.
The kick,
my money.
I knew the head kick was the one way Jacoby would lose that fight. That head kick is nasty.
Yeah. It was super impressive, and obviously Saeed put himself on a rocket ship with that kind of win in his debut. Yeah. But we'll try again this week. As always, there is always a next week. I think we're in the midst of like 8 or 9 straight weeks of UFC. Although next week's Apex card is looking a little bit rough. They barely got the thing to 10 fights today, so we'll see what they have for us next week. But we'll enjoy this week while we have, including the UFC debut of Michael Oliveira. Matty, this guy was crazy on the Contender Series last year against a guy that's been very kind to me in UFC for the most part, Oban Elliott from Wales. Oliveira, with that performance he put together on the Contender Series, was going to be a big favorite over anyone. He is minus 340 over Oban, Matty. So I got to ask you a question. Is this good chalk, or do you think Oban might be worth a swipe?
Oh, man. Michael Oliveira is a unit, bro. This dude's a physical specimen. He's got
Crazy
power. Oban Elliott, I can't figure him out, dude. I felt like he was so skilled. And then I hit the Jonathan McAuliffe result was not good, but he was winning that fight. I believe he was looking good, and then he got caught with that. Was it a club and sub, I believe? Or was it just ground? He just got up and choked.
It was a bad ground exchange turned into a front choke.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the Co fight hasn't aged that well. The Basel Hafez was probably his best result.
Yeah.
I mean, going to decision with Val Woodburn is not a great look.
Nope.
I think all the finishing upside here is on the Oliveira side. But I kind of favor Oban Elliott late if it gets there. I think that's his path, is like round 3 decision. But yeah, I think Oliveira probably gets him out of there by round 2 if I had to make a prediction on it. KO.
Yeah, I mean, just crazy power. And when you look at Oban Elliott's journey comprehensively, because the sample's so much larger, he was hurt on the Contender Series. He got signed because it was a great comeback. He fought through it. He won the decision. Got dropped by Val Woodburn. Ended up going to a decision with him in that fight. We were kind of impressed by the Preston Parsons thing. We're like, oh, maybe, Elliott is really turned a corner. I feel like he's well-rounded. And then he gets wrapped up by McAuliffe, and then Suk Young Ko weighs on him for 12 minutes. And the one mixed in there is the Basile Hafez. But like these guys I'm talking about where he's had good performances, I've kind of chalked it up to a level of competition thing with Oban. I think he got really easy guys at first. He was able to get through them. But as it's moved up, it's gone really poorly. And he doesn't have to worry about the bottom game here. But I worry about his chin, and I worry about his striking defense, especially with Oliveira, just a sniper from so far away. 3 knockdowns in his debut in less than 2 rounds total. It's just like this guy, when you see him come into UFC, it reminds me of when Michael Morales came into UFC, bro. It really does, where it's like you look at a guy in this division, he's so big and he's so athletic, and I don't even care what his takedown defense and his grappling looks like, because I think he could just stand up through it because of just the physical strength he carries. I don't feel good enough about Oban to predict the upside. The only thing that wouldn't surprise me is if Oban made it all 15 and we are all in marvel of how tough he was.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I kind of like Oliveira's money line better than a specific angle. I'd be curious what the prop market looks like.
Oban Elliott, he's been KO'd a couple of times, but it was 2021 Cage Warriors and then 20 Cage Warriors, and it's both were late, or both 2-3 KOs. He's been pretty durable since then, minus the submission.
Wow.
Yeah, Michael Oliveira by decision. What does that pay?
Plus 325, Oliveira KO minus 125. Feels a little big.
Yeah, I'm not disagree. Plus wow.
Because Elliott has a 61% striking defense. Like, he's been pretty responsible at distance thus far.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
I definitely, if I was going to go KO with Oliveira, I'd go later KO, which I think buys you a little bit of equity. Like, I imagine like an early finish here for Oliveira because he's just a unit is going to be crazy. But
yeah, round 1's plus 250, round 2 is 450, round 3 is 800.
These just being general rounds.
Okay.
You need to teach me how to use Hard Rock, though. I can't figure out where to find it.
You got to click the parlay button at the top center.
And I never would have figured that out myself.
If you're on the fight, click parlays at the top center. That's where you get the round and method combinations.
I could so easily see the public taking a bath on a decision for Oliveira here. He went to a decision 2 fights before, or 1 fight before his Contender Series fight. He went to a decision in LFA.
Yeah.
With Aldo Pereira, and Elliott's really tough, good striking defense. I'm going to go blowout, unanimous decision. Point spread could be a decent look here, too, just to get both. Elliott might not survive. Oliveira sub is 20. Now you're talking Matty's language, like a club and sub. I will say Elliott gave his neck in his last fight.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Michael doesn't have any pro subs, right?
2-3 sub for Oliveira, 60-1 and 75-1.
if he dies, he dies. We got a lot of love for the KO, which I totally get. I'm so excited to see this guy climb the ranks, and I really won't think a whole lot less of Oban if he ends up getting stopped here, just because it feels, like I said, it feels kind of like he's running into Morales at the beginning of his career, one of these sort of big time prospects.
That's fair.
Yep. All right, let's move forward here. We'll talk about what you got.
This is a banger.
Yeah, the featured prelim, and it is a good one. This card is sneaky. First of all, it's way better than the card was last week. Second of all, we have all these little fights. Like we talked about, the Volodin fight could be interesting. The Bazookia fight could be interesting. Here's another one. Ludovic Klein and Tafik Musayev at lightweight could very well be a fight of the year contender. Matty Musayev coming off a surprise, impressive upset of Ignacio Bahamondes. Bloody fight earlier this year in Seattle. Ludovic Klein, last we saw him, he got a win over Mateusz Rebecki, but he broke his leg in the last round, was able to hang on, but that's where he's been on injury leave for a bit. So what do you think of this matchup, man?
I like Ludovic Klein here. I'm a little concerned just on the coming off the injury, but
yeah,
I definitely think he's the better guy for sure. I've been pretty high on this guy. I don't know why. I think should be at 145, honestly, just based on size and everything. But he's fucking good. He's fast. This guy Tafik is just vicious though, bro. But I like Ludovic Klein's durability. I think he can win at range as well. Maybe he can mix in some grappling. I was looking at Ludovic Klein by decision, bro.
What's the line?
Let's see. Plus 135. Wow, that's way shorter than I thought.
What do you think it was going to be?
I thought it would be 2-1. His KO's plus 350.
Yeah, it's over 2.5 rounds here is minus 166 on DraftKings. Who do you think would get a finish in what way? Would it be a Klein KO for you?
Yeah, I think so.
I get that because Musayev was hurt early in his last fight. I don't think a sub would be crazy.
I feel like Musayev probably should have got finished by Ignacio. Didn't he grab the cage or a fucking glove or some shit?
He did, but then, I mean, I understand that was a bad break for Ignacio, but I mean, he completely blew Ignacio out. Like his elbows cut his face wide open after that.
Yeah, Ignacio is very up and down, bro.
He's got to stop playing BJJ off his back, man. It's not a thing in 2026 unless you're Walter Walker grabbing heel hooks.
Yeah, Ignacio is just streaky, I feel like. Yeah, this is a good fight. I definitely like Ludovic Klein on the scorecards. I think 30-27.
I just saw a line I like here. I think I like Musayev plus 3.5 points at minus 120. I feel if like you get around, but maybe a little bit of home cooking in Serbia, that feels about right. I think these guys are really evenly matched, man. I think it's a close competitive fight. The line is a little bit wide for me because Klein has these fights where I'm like, I just want to see more, and I feel like the fade spot hasn't come home to roost yet. Like he was able to hang on against Rebecki.
Yeah.
Dragging Roosevelt Roberts to a decision is one of the most inexplicable things that I've ever seen in UFC because of how good Klein is. I'm like, how are you dragging this carcass to the finish line like that? And I get it was like a short notice thing, but the draw with Jai Herbert where he couldn't wrestle back in the day, like he scares me at this type of chalk because I feel like he doesn't separate. I feel like his volume and his output can lag a little bit at times. But Musayev hasn't given me like this crazy amount of confidence about him either. I think he could be a little chinny. He was dropped by Ignacio in that fight. And then we saw Oralby snatch that Kimura really, really quickly. So, and Musayev is well past his prime. We would love to see him in his prime, but now he's 36 and, his best days came and went.
Chad says he's 8 subs, but like he hasn't had a sub in 8 years?
Yeah.
Look at the competition he was submitting. They were like easy round 1 subs, guillotines. His last sub I think was 2017.
Yeah, we got a comment by the way. How bad was Klein's ankle injury? Was this too quick of a comeback? I mean, it was probably just a standard broken ankle, and I think he's been out since like late last fall. So this should be just fine. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
For 4 of Messiah's 6 losses or subs, I get it, and Klein is a guy that at least defensively is sound with his BJJ. Yeah, he wasn't submitted by Gamrot in all that time on bottom, but it. I don't really know if either one of these guys has a supreme BJJ edge. Like I said, I think it's a very close competitive fight where maybe Masayev gets around, maybe it's a robbery, whatever you want to say. But I didn't want to fade either one of these guys, but now we're tasked with a choice.
For sure.
I'm just looking through Messiah. It's interesting. Klein has 3 inches of reach here.
Yeah, that's insane.
Who is he? Has he ever had reach on anybody?
Arms are compared to his height, bro.
Yeah, it's a good. It's a good build for MMA.
Knees, bro.
Yeah, but Messiah with those elbows was just crazy. And the thing about Klein we've seen before with the Gamrot fight with Rebechki in the 3rd round, if he gets put on bottom, sometimes he has a hard time getting up. And those elbows coming down, you get a cut like that as well.
Yeah,
we got a lot of love for goes distance. I definitely think it's one I had circled as a potential safe lay here. Do you like length here?
Klein Brown 2-3 is 8-1 and 11-1, and that's KO or sub.
Like it better than ITD. I can't see either one of these guys getting put out in the first.
Yeah, I kind of like 2-3 angle for Klein, but I'm not going to be surprised if he wins on the scorecards.
Yeah. It feels a little bit wide for me, and it's not like I don't want to actively fade Klein, but it's a tough one. One of the tougher ones on the card. But why don't we move forward here, bro? We'll pay a few bills, and then we'll hop up onto the main card. This one first, of course, a reminder, our home of fight picks, boys, are cooking. My guy Nolan, a Steve Ursig money line bet away from another sweep in Abu Dhabi. RIP Astro Boy. I tweeted out a prayer circle for his chin. It was not answered. But that was the type of day Nolan had up several units last week in Abu Dhabi. Hayden looking for a bounce back this week, especially. He's always got the DFS as like a floor, and then the betting stuff will come with it as well. These guys are true pros at what they do. You want to experience their picks and what they do. Winnable.com/HOF. Or you can visit Home of Fight Picks on Instagram. Use code HOF at checkout. You get 7 days free. You play your cards right. You could get 2 cards for free. Don't let Matty know that I told you that as a little bit of a buffer. But if you join, you could get 7 days free. All of the odds you've seen tonight have been sponsored by Polymarket. They are odds for trading at Polymarket's prediction market. Right now, if you deposit $20, you get a bonus $50 for a total of $70. If you use code FIGHT when you sign up at Polymarket, you can trade on UFC. You probably see the percentages on Polymarket live every week on the UFC broadcast. So you can bet ostensibly money lines there. Really whatever you want to see. If you want to see the percentages, you want to see the sports money lines, whichever you prefer, you can sign up on Polymarket and trade there, even in states like Florida, Texas, however you want to trade. Go to Polymarket and download the app today. As well as you guys know you love these. And we owe a card or two, and the people have been screaming to rip packs because we both forgot to rip packs on the show last week. Repacks by collectibles.com. You can pull cards up to $1,700. We just added a new $1,300 chase card today. If you go to homeoffightcards.com, you can rip these packs. You don't like you get what you got, just send it right back for resale value. Keep ripping again. Like, you don't have to keep the trash cards you pull. I happen to. That's why I have this Matt Steamroller Frivola card sitting by me. I keep my trash cards, but you don't have to. I just like the ones that whatever I pull. But you can do it however you want to do it. Homefightcards.com, and you can see all the cool pull cards available there with all the best fighters in UFC. They're getting in there quick. Matty, you want to rip a card, bro?
Yeah.
Gold pack for yourself. Why don't you go for it?
All right, let's see what we can do here. Oh, I'm not signed in. I'm already signed in.
Do we have another Prontes chase in this pile, even if it's not the one you wanted?
I don't know. Probably down there.
Man, we haven't even said comments or usernames for cards. These guys are like, we know the drill. We want cards. Give it to us right now.
There we go.
All right, Matty, what do we got here? Ripping $150 leave. Adrian Yanez coming off a big KO of Cody Garbrandt, bro.
I'll keep it just because I like Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian, it's a cool looking card. Maybe it goes up in value PSA 9 if he can get a couple wins strung together.
Yeah. Let me see what I have here.
Let's see. You have a Melsic. Is that a Melsic Bogdasarian, bro?
Yes, sir. PSA.
Oh, that's a nice looking card.
Yeah, I pulled this Connor card. I pulled 2 Connor cards the other day.
That's right.
I don't even know what my best card is at this point. I have like 8 cards on the way, so they're not in here. Like some of the ones I really like.
Dude, hey, you're gonna have to show. You're gonna have to show them what they look like because you got some real winners there.
Yeah. All right.
You want to throw the guys a bone? We want to rip a normal pack for a lucky person.
Somebody.
All right, I'll pick somebody. Just randomly, I just happened to glance at the screen. VGM 2121.
All right, here we go.
I appreciate the super chats, guys, but I'm not gonna give you a coupon hack of putting in a $2 super chat and you get the $60 card every time. We appreciate the show, but we want everyone. First of all, we want you guys to experience this on how to get there. And Vince here says, "Send me any card, bro. I'm not picky. You're gonna get you gotta get another nasty ass cycle cat." That's from our guy Vince Staples, who we're opening this card for. We got a Habib PSA 10. It's why isn't that valued higher? Maybe it's not too rare.
It's not rare, limited, I guess.
It looks sick, and it's a Khabib PSA 10. That's interesting.
Yeah, I would keep it.
I would keep it too. We'll send that your way, Vince. You got picked for a card, buddy. We'll send that your way. And we'll have them transfer it over to your collectibles username with your account there. So appreciate you guys. If you want to check that out, you can rip your own cards literally as we're talking on the show right now, Home of Fight cards. And we appreciate the support that they've got. Lots of cool stuff coming down the pipe with that program as well. But Matty, let's hop up onto the main card here. We got Milos Janicic taking on Noah Gugnon. This is a fight where I wrote up on Prize Picks. I'm like, you might go, who are these guys? And they're both making their UFC debut. But I got to be honest, I think UFC cooked here. Now, it is an interesting fight. It's a pick'em. I got to ask you, have you taped anything? Do you have any leans here? Do we just go with the guy with the more Serbian-sounding name that people want answers? I
mean, I kind of like violence, bro. There's like fucking like almost 20 combined finishes between both of them. Let me see here. Yeah, they both have submissions and KOs.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the odds. Where is it?
Hey, DM me on Twitter, Gavi, if you haven't gotten a card. I can have them see. We'll get your collectibles username. We'll try to sort that out. Where
both guys that get a finish is plus 165 either way.
What?
Fight to go the distance is fight not to go the distance is minus 275. The fight to end by subs kind of interesting. Plus 425 either way.
Fight to end by sub. Hey, I gotta say, a sub Gugnon. If you were gonna have a guy that would get a sub, I think it would be Gugnon. Grappling BJJ background, a little bit more comfortable there, I think.
Let's see what his is. His submission is plus 600.
Are you just playing sub by default here? Have you gotten to tape either guy? I'm just really curious if you. Oh, I did. I spent quite a bit of time, probably like 45 minutes total, watching these guys because there's just so much footage and it's up on the main card, But like I'm very impressed with Janicic, by the way. Very different backgrounds. Janicic is a guy that he'll keep his hands low. Reminds me a little bit of Bobby Green, how he will like throw from unorthodox angles. He's very comfortable. He rolls with punches well. I think he does a good job resetting with his feet. Dirty boxing experience, bare knuckle, much more the striker of these two. But you look, he also has 8 pro wins by submission, and I don't think he has any trouble with defense there. A ton of experience, 22 pro fights. You see him in Octagon as well with a 2-0 start. He's almost like kind of like a lightweight Mike Perry. He's been around a lot. He's been in a lot of different disciplines. I feel like he's very comfortable as a striker. Gugnon is much more mechanical there. He is only 25. Last we saw him with a big promotion was in Bellator in 2023. Very robotic and mechanical. I think he's improved a little bit at distance since then, but obviously at his best when he can get to his wrestling, singles, doubles, has a grappling background as well. I just think Janicic is hard to grapple, and I think he's going to be able to stuff some takedowns here. He's a little bit longer. I think he's more comfortable. I'm leaning Janicic decision here at a pick'em. And Gugnon is a guy I can understand why he's taking money because he's a little bit more well-rounded. But Janicic is my type of dude where I think, when you have those comfort and those optics and he doesn't really ever get hit flush, he hasn't been finished since 2016, that typically looks well to judges. And I'd be curious what the total is on this fight. Does Hard Rock have stuff up for it?
Yeah.
So we got, is it a pick'em? Gugnon's minus 120.
Yeah. No is a small favorite.
Shoot. Wow. Violence, big favorite here.
Yeah. Over 1.5 is minus 145, though.
Janicic points is plus 550?
Yeah.
I thought it would be favored for him. Whoa.
Yeah.
I like both of these guys. I'm going to end up on this over in Janicic points.
Yeah. Over 2.5 is plus 150.
Yeah. I'm going to have to play it.
Yeah. I got to take them, so I'll let you know once I do.
Yeah, do let me know because I mean, clearly you look at this finishing. The shortest prop on the board is Janicic KO plus 220, so we could have a cycle leg in here if we come to an agreement. The numbers are really good.
Yes, sir.
It feels like we're gearing up a little bit for PFL Contender Series stuff because we got nothing on those guys on tape. Now we do, at least in this next fight, we got a little bit of tape on Gilbert, the RGV bad boy Urbina. Unfortunately, he's in a spot here where I think a lot of people are expecting him to lose against Vlasto Chepo. Yeah. Matty, I think El Chapo is a guy that if he comes in and has the debut that he's very capable of, is going to be a big time fan favorite. This guy's very exciting. He's minus 340 here. I could see an argument for both of these guys because of the unknown, but what do you think of Urbina? Or have you gotten to tape El Chapo, bro?
Yeah, but this guy looks like a bare knuckle boxer, bro.
He fights like it, dude.
You watch a bare knuckle card at the Hard Rock, bro. You see like 5 of these guys every card.
Yeah.
Like bearded white guy with tats. Like just like yeah, I think he's gonna knock out Gilbert Urbina probably in the first round.
Yeah, I don't love this move to 185 for Urbina. I always felt like, yeah, he cut a ton of weight to get down to 170, but the thing that typically doesn't improve as you move up in weight is your ability to take punches from bigger, stronger dudes. And he's really just been very chinny, right? Like Charles Radke dropped him twice in the first round. Yeah. I'm forgetting who Uros Medic in his last. He actually dropped Medic early in that fight and then got KO'd later in the same round, which is, we'll get to Uros.
A minute, bro.
Yeah, it was both in less than a minute. It was a wild fight, but I just think that sort of durability against a guy like Chepo, who Matty, I invite you to tape this guy for just a little bit. He is all gas, no brakes. I really think like KO is a very safe cycle leg here because Urbina is a guy that I really like. I feel like he's more talented than his record, but you ultimately have to be able to withstand taking punches. 44% striking defense, and I know Chepo is going to walk forward here. It feels a little bit like some of those fights I got wrong last week, where it's like, if I play Urbina or I try to get creative here, it's sort of denying the inevitable, which is this guy's coming forward. He's going to try to find the chin, and we just got a comment from P Savage Racing, Chepo KO next. Kind of feels like that. And by the way, he's from Serbia in Serbia, so
yeah. I would just be scared if it gets out of the first round for him.
Yeah.
They get ground and pounded in round 3 in Octagon 51. That was back in December of 2023, and that was against an 11-5 guy.
Yeah.
Or a 14-7 guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I really don't know if he's particularly like skilled. He has innate trust in his chin. I think he's got super fast hands. It is very much sort of a all or nothing, very early approach.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you one thing though, bro. I just saw the props. Gilbert Urbina round 1 KO is 20-1. If this is just a fucking barn burner in the first round, we saw Urbina drop Uros Medic.
Yeah.
Not crazy, bro. 20-1. That's unbelievable.
I really like Urbina. I do. And that's what pains me so much about this is like
super reckless though. He could get dropped, bro.
yeah.
That's a crazy price, dude. I'm sorry. 20-1.
We got a comment from Peyton that Chepo round 1 KO is minus 210. It's literally unplayable. That's pretty darn unplayable.
Minus 210 on Hard Rock. So his round 1 KO is minus 120. Are you there?
Yeah. No. What were you saying? Sorry, I was reading something.
KO's minus 210. His round 1's minus 120.
Oh, well, that's a much better split than that guy was saying in chat. Like, I get it. It's
yeah. I mean, for a cycle leg, this fight just to end by KO. What does that pay?
I would say I think Urbina sub is live here if it gets out of round 1.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Chepo just swings himself tired in round 1, and Urbina round 2 sub just probably pays 60-1 if I had to guess.
20-1's crazy. I'm sorry for a barn burner round 1, probably with no grappling.
I mean, Matty, your reads are so hot right now. The fact that like you're like, hey, maybe it gets through.
I mean, the guy fought,
who has Chepo fought, and that's always what you run into regionally.
Right.
But
you can't really find any name value that he's fought regionally. Like he can come in here and get caught.
Yeah,
maybe a smaller, faster guy.
Yeah, he's 6-2. I mean, the promotion he's with Octagon is very good, and he's like a cult hero there. Like you said, though, losing is bad. Did you know he boxed Hector Lombard back in 2023?
Oh wow,
that was probably a really terrible exhibition thing.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of Urbina love here, saying Chepo's not very good. He's not this. He's not like I wouldn't parlay him. I think it's just about my own reservations with Gilbert and his chin.
Yeah. He probably has a reach advantage by a few inches here, if I had to guess.
Urbina, yeah, I'm guessing so. Probably like 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah.
It was a good comment we got from our guy Sergio here, who said, guys put on weight, they miss weight. That's why it helps their chin. It goes both ways when you intentionally move up, though, because it's like, yes, you're cutting less weight, but you're also facing bigger guys.
Yeah.
Like it's why my model doesn't adjust for that, is because every guy responds a little bit differently. Poetzon looked terrible moving up in weight. We'll talk about a little bit later on this card, maybe a weight move that I think will benefit a guy. The 5-minute sweat. I don't think he's a good 5-minute sweat spot. I love that 5-minute sweat, and I didn't even get it with Dulatov last week. But I don't think Chepo's winning this fight if we get past 5 minutes. So that's where I typically I like the 5-minute sweat where I can take the favorite to win a little bit longer fight.
Yeah, fair enough.
Michael Chiesa said he likes Urbina. I like Urbina too. I think he's a very skilled guy.
Yeah, I'm staying away from the Chepo KO as far as a cycle. The price sucks, and he's just not proven against good competition. At least good net value.
This guy's gonna be a rock star.
Sprinkle on Urbina, bro. On the Urbina KO.
El Chapo is gonna be a rock star if he comes out and starches this guy in less than 2 minutes fighting the way that he does.
What's this KO period? Urbina 10-1 fought on Urbina KO just to get him in any bro.
You're doing dangerous things to me, Matty. I'm so tired of playing these value dogs that end up.
How the KO is twice as big as his submission, bro.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna fucking play Gilbert Urbina money line and something else in this card, and Chepo's gonna starch him in 2 minutes. And Matty, your whole fucking Discord's gonna come at me like, "Oh, Chepo KO was free, bro. What are you doing? Chepo KO was free. Why didn't you play it at minus 120 round 1?"
Chepo's 4-1 to the submission. I mean, do we really think Urbina's that good with his grappling?
Yeah, Urbina. I think Urbina, his BJJ defense and his back takes are really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, he only has 2 submissions per fight. He's only fought 11 times though, so it's not bad.
FCS comes in here and says, "Yeah, in the Discord, we are going to come at you and say that if he says it." See, they admit to it. They're like, "I'm coming after you." It's like, I don't care that you were hunting value. It was free. Yeah. I think Chepo round 1. we're your friends in the Discord. That's true. I do have plenty of friends in the Discord. I appreciate you all that tune in and make everything happen there. But let's move on, Matty, just because
for Venus 30-1 at round 3, 60-1.
You're getting me dangerously close to playing Urbina there, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. So we'll move forward and take up this next one. A barn burner at middleweight. This fight could be crazy. Robert Valentin taking on Dushko Todorovic. This one's got violence written all over it with these guys. That it kind of feels like this is for a roster spot, but at the same time, I could also see these guys hanging on beyond it. So what do you think, Matty? Rob Zilla's a minus 162 over the hometown guy here. What do you think of this matchup? Because I did play a side here, so I'm curious what you think.
So a couple of things. One, I don't think Valentin should be a minus 160 favorite. I think this should be closer to a pick 'em.
Okay.
Two, Dusko's never been submitted.
Nope.
Robert Valentin has been. I probably told this story a couple of times on the show, but I had that 3-leg submission special with Valentin as the last leg. I was at Circa
against Ryan Loader.
I think it was $30K or $50K. It was a big payout, and it was a round one. Is actually what it was, a round one parlay. And I hit the first 2 round 1 legs, and Robert Valentin was the last leg for a round 1 finish. He gets Ryan Loader's back in round 1. Had like 2 or 3 unofficial submission attempts. Then he gets submitted in round 2, I believe it was, right? Or was it round 1?
He got finished in round 2.
Yeah. And then since then, decision loss to Torres Finney, not a great look. And then just knocked out against Tebe Gautier, which is what it is.
Yep.
He comes out and gets a rear naked choke on a UFC Fight Night card. But I don't see him submitting Dusko. And I actually think if he wrestles, it could play into Dusko getting a submission here.
Sure.
And I mean, are we that sold on Robert Valentin striking? Because that's the way to beat Dusko. He's been KO'd 4 times. I like Dusko here as an underdog, bro. Maybe I'm just biased and I still hold that loss against Robert Valentin when he cooked me on that round 1 parlay, but I kind of like Dusko here, bro.
Matty, I have a model to remove bias for a reason. I've got Dushko plus 105. I think he's great value at this number. I actually got him at plus 140. And it's coming down a little bit. That's kind of why I played it today. For Dushko, I actually have decision most likely for Dushko, interestingly enough, which would be a little bit crazy, but we saw Torres Finney control Valentin, not really in any sort of fight-ending danger, but that's kind of what Finney does. Todorovic went to that uneventful decision with Zach Reese as well. So I think it's on the table. I prefer Moneyline because I, like you, also think Dushko could get a sub here as well. I cannot pick my favorite of the 3 angles, so my favorite is Dushko, but keep this in mind. Rob Zilla was Tebe Gautier's easiest fight to this point by way of resistance and time to finish him. 33% striking defense is horrible when Dushko's a guy that carries power, and Dushko's the better wrestler. So, if I posed this question in Discord today, I was like,
too?
What'd you say?
Think he's a better wrestler too?
Oh yeah, Dushko averages 7-ish takedowns per 15 minutes.
Attempts or
attempts? Yeah.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
And Arabzilla 50% defense. Some of that was Loader, but
grappling cancels each other out. Who wins on the feet here?
I mean, I think Todorovic knocks him out inside 10 minutes.
Yeah, I like Dusko finish here, bro. A 2-3 is insane. Round finish is 9-1. Round 3 is 17-1.
Yeah, I'm not quite on board that this fight's ending in round 1 for certain.
Yeah, Dusko to win by finish is plus 240.
Yeah, I think that comments like we've seen some about Dushko being terrible. These guys are terrible. Look at some of the competition Todorovic just had to fight. He had to fight RoboCop, had to fight CLD. He had to fight Puna Soriano. Valentin, the fact that Valentin lost to Torres Finney, and his only win in UFC is that awful LeBlanc guy from Canada who looked like a bum. When that dude walked out on the walkout, I'm like, I just lost. This guy's a bum.
I just trust Dusko more. If the fight gets sloppy, I trust Dusko more. If they start grappling, we saw the Robert Valentin Loader fight. Valentin can just get caught in a grappling exchange here.
Yes.
Dusko gets on top of him, the ground and pounds live too.
Dushko is a black belt in BJJ, and you know what Valentin is, man? He's submission over position, and he will get himself reversed at times.
Oh, tell me why that Dusko by sub is 7-1 and Valentin subs plus 240. That's the most ridiculous lines I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Dusko's never been submitted. Why is Robert Valentin plus 240 to submit him?
I mean, I have Valentin sub the most likely outcome in the fight, but it's plus 324 in my model.
I don't understand.
By the way, I feel like I made a lot of tweaks to my model because I've really been trying to get behind some of the mistakes it's been making. I feel really good about its handicap here. I have Valentin sub plus 324, Dushko decision plus 382, KO plus 425, and then Valentin decision plus 506. Maybe he steals it with a sub attempt or two.
Bro, Dusko by sub at plus 700. I might put some heat on that.
That's the one prop it doesn't like. I will say Valentin got caught by Loader, right?
Though.
Has Valentin been submitted in UFC?
Not in the UFC, no, but he got knee barred in 2022.
Boy, he had to fight Evo Aslan. That was probably a violent knockout. I might have to.
I would just go inside the distance here to get at plus 240. So maybe it's not a cycle leg, but I really like Dusko finish, bro. I just do not trust Robert Valentin whatsoever.
No, I think he is sloppy and defensively devoid at distance, and I think the wrestling does favor Dushko. When Torres Finney hasn't really had that sort of success against anyone that was UFC level, like with his wrestling.
Yeah,
and
Robert Valentin's going to be able to, even if he gets his back, I don't think he's going to be able to submit Dushko.
Right. We have seen Dushko fight out of 3 different submission attempts in UFC. So, and by the way, Dushko's in the red corner at home here. We haven't even mentioned that when we're talking about this breakdown. It's so weird that Todorovic is the underdog.
I think it's a straight pick 'em.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's closer to a pick 'em. That's why I'm playing money line, and I'll root for you. I'll root for whatever you want, but that's why I played 2 units money line today, and that's probably going to be about it. But we'll move forward here. Let's talk about this next one at heavyweight. Man, the bangers keep coming, dude. Alexander Rakic making his heavyweight debut here against Marcin Tybura. Matty, Tybura now 40. He certainly has had his best days behind him, but he did just go to a decision with Tyrell Fortune. Now Rakic moving up. Obviously going to get a lot of love. He's a former guy that was in the title mix at 205. What do you think of this move for him, and do you think he's a good favorite at minus 340 something?
I like the move to heavyweight. I think he's got the frame and size for it.
Yeah.
He's going to obviously be way faster and better on the feet here.
Yeah.
I think everyone's on the Rakic KO. I think it makes sense. I mean, I think
not everyone.
He was Tybura been knocked out by Aspinall
and Ante Delia a couple fights ago.
Yeah. I mean, those are big, powerful guys.
Yeah. Dude, I love Rakic decision here. I don't know if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to get there. I mean, I remember when he got armbarred by Spivak.
Yeah.
He was actually winning that grappling change, and then he got caught.
That was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the dude went the distance with Alexander Volkov, bro, which we both rate very highly.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Rakic's decision makes sense, but plus 200.
Yeah. And by the way, Rakic was a guy that the last guy he dropped at light heavyweight was Anthony Smith back in 2020. He's not a guy that has been super powerful. Like, we saw the head kick. We saw a shout to the head kick against Jimmy Manuwa. This was way back in the day. I call it the Reebok Shorts era. So, Rakic has been in a lot of point fights lately. The Thiago Santos fight, the Magomed Ankalaev fight. I think he was on his way until Yuri Prochazka had the comeback. That crazy comeback over Rakic, I think, really altered the trajectory of both of those guys' career. But I'm with you, dude. I love this move to heavyweight for Rakic. I think he could be a real contender at heavyweight. The influx of these 205 guys moving up, like Johnny Walker, Jamal Hill, although I got to say, it doesn't look like Jamal Hill is about to fight in UFC anytime soon. Certainly not well. Have you seen some of the Jamal Hill picks going out there? taking bulk to a new level. He's following my nutrition and diet plan, which is not a good one. But Alexander Rakic, I mean, he looks to be in great shape. He's added a lot of mass. He's been training down an American top team. I just don't think Tybura is very dangerous anymore, dude. I feel like the punches and the kicks are pretty slow. Not a lot of power behind him. Like he submitted Tai Tuivasa, but overall doesn't bring a lot of submission.
Big on that.
What?
I cashed big on that submission.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is Tybura has had these dominant positions on the ground against like bad, sloppy heavyweights, but Rakic is a good grappler, 85% takedown defense. We saw him outclass Anthony Smith down there. Interesting name for me to bring up this week if you haven't seen the news. But but I like Rakic here, and I like Rakic's decision because I think Tybura is a hard guy to put away in general. Rakic's not a guy that carries a ton of power, but I definitely got to take the favorite here, and I think decision I've got it plus 175. So if we can get plus 200, that's a-okay by me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All righty, let's go. It's been a while since we had a queen one like that. We'll see if we agree in this one. Maybe not. Co-main event, light heavyweight. Navajo Sterling steps in on like a couple weeks' notice here against Jan Blachowicz. Fallout of that is, Jan and Guskov were going to fight for a second time. Guskov gets whisked away to the main event. So now Navajo Sterling on like 2 weeks' notice, a month after we saw him. It's crazy the turnaround here. Matty, Navajo getting a lot of respect in betting markets, minus 325. He is the shiny, undefeated toy. But does the Polish Hammer, that legendary Polish power, have one last ride in him?
Yeah, I'm going Jan Blachowicz, bro. I like him a lot here. I know he's 43. I know he's coming off the surgery or the injury, but
yeah.
I mean, just the tape on Navajo, bro. I just can't get there. I mean, I think Blachowicz is the tougher, more durable, well-rounded guy. I mean, this fight would be so much different in odds a couple of years ago, obviously, but like, I think you got a veteran lesson coming up for Navajo Sterling, bro, and I think Blachowicz gets the nod. I could say a TKO, but I could also see a decision. I just think that Blachowicz is going to get it done here, get his hand raised. I think he's got one last ride in him.
Yeah. It's a tough fight to bet for me because I really do think I do think Sterling has all of the physical and tangible advantages here. This almost reminds me, Matty, of like if you like Jan Blachowicz, this spot to me reminds me a little bit of how sort of the pitfall I fell into with Sam Patterson against Santiago Ponzinibbio. It's like I respected Ponzi's experience so much in that fight. And like there were the concerns I had about Patterson and his chin placement, and they were talking about it the whole fight. But the ultimate, when you're giving up so many physical advantages, it's just so hard to go out there and win 2 UFC rounds for a guy that may or may not be weight training, according to the broadcast. He had the torn meniscus earlier this year. Jan's been my dude, man. Like I cashed on Jan against Dominic Reyes way back in the day with a title fight. I played him huge against Izzy Adesanya in that super fight back in the day. Like I've loved betting Jan forever, but I think his body is just completely cooked.
He's so durable, bro. I just can't get there. I think Sterling decision makes sense, but I just don't think there's any scenario where Sterling finishes him.
I've got Sterling decision plus 184 and knockout plus 231. So I think the number would drive me to the KO, but I agree with you. It's like hard to envision that,
Real quick, Austin, I'm gonna let Logan rip cards because I gotta use the bathroom.
Oh shoot.
Here, before we go to the next one, Logan.
Let's go.
You know how to?
Yeah.
All right, so here it's on. You can do 3 packs, 3 $60 packs. So
Okay.
I'll pick 3 people and Logan can rip them.
All right. First one for Swaim 3. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Why don't we'll go with Mark James 22 here. I just happen to see him here.
All right, here. Where do we go? My pack? Or no, wait. Where do we go here from here?
Go to the if you scroll over on or go to MMA under categories, can get you there.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep, and then the basic pack. There you go. And if you click buy now, this is the best for you guys when Matty leaves and Logan comes on, and then click XPR at the top there, bro.
Some luck.
The XP, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
It tells us how many free card packs we have, and we have 4. So then it may have to spin for a bit before it loads, but it'll eventually get there.
It's a little glitchy on live.
Mark, you put in your username again, buddy. I got you up on the screen. You're getting a card, so. All right, let's open this guy up.
Good luck.
All right, let's see what we're giving out to our guy, Mark. Oh, Poeton, $60 card. Could be worse.
Yeah, no.
Or is it, what's that say? 67? That could be worse.
67, you can sell it back for about 60, 61. So
no, we're gonna make him keep that, and it costs him nothing. So
yeah, it's a $60, $70 card. Not bad.
I Professor, do you even have your username in here? I don't know what you're going on about, but I was gonna. Let me pick another one here. I'm gonna go with this guy, Rich Mans, Richie Gall 8174.
Perfect. Here we go.
It's Shaba we got in chat. I like that with the Peloton
First
card.
one down, right? That first one you wrote down.
Oh, I take screenshots after the
Right.
show. Yeah, we're good. What y'all saying done dirty for? I work for the guy. He's never ripped me a gold pack. Okay. Yeah, you guys talking about being done dirty.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. Here we go for our guy Richie Gall 8174. Let's see. Let's go. What do we got here? We got Gilton Almeida, $30 card. Again, it costs you 0. Maybe Gilton will come back in the UFC. We can actually get him in there.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's pick one more here.
It's still on.
I'm going to go with my guy, Professor Baccarat, because he did say he joined from the Home of Fight Discord. They're sucking up to the product and the brand. Remember, kids, brown nosing gets you everywhere in life.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Player banker tie here. I'll give him one of the cards. Comment that the Almeida card isn't worth $30 anymore. You never, if Almeida goes out there like my model says and submits Francis Ngannou, and MVP will be rocking.
To some,
let's see what we got for.
All right, here we go. Third one has to be a good one here.
Yes, we have not been super hot. We went on this crazy run of ripping like really good cards in a row. So I love Home of Fight. See, now you guys are getting it. Now you know for next time. You got a brown nose up to the brand. You got to say that you read my weekly articles on homeoffight.com. Now you're starting to understand.
All right, good luck. Was it
give Baccarat a PSA 5 women's card.
Got Gilton Almeida.
Oh, God.
This is the third one.
Almeida.
We got Poeton and Almeida.
Nice. What we got
All right, and now Professor Baccarat and Juliana Pena, $60 card. Someone cursed this guy, bro. Someone cursed this guy, man. He said, I hope he gets a women's MMA card, and he got Juliana Pena. That's too bad. But, I mean, it's still a pretty good card, and it didn't cost him anything, so not too bad. All right. Matty, you ready to break down the main event, buddy?
Let's go.
Oh, and what a random main event it is. By the way, they started to learn in the comments. They got to suck up and say they love Home of Fight. They read my articles. They're all over our Instagram pages. Thank you to the Home of Fight team. See, there you go. Now you guys are getting it in chat. But what a random main event we have here, Matty. Eros Medic taking on Daniel Rodriguez. And sort of Medic is the guy this card was built around, right? Why UFC is making a trip to Serbia, because he had that crazy knockout of Jeff Neal. He's a super exciting guy. And on the other side, we have one of the best stories in UFC in 2026, just because Daniel Rodriguez was in a prison in Tijuana earlier this year, and now he's coming back. He says, if I win this weekend, you can write a movie about it. I think you already could, but what do you think of the main event, man? Because Medic is minus 410. He's minus 210 by knockout. We all kind of know the vibe here, but is there any value on D-Rod or taking a different angle?
I mean, bro, if D-Rod gets out of round one, I think he's super live.
Right.
Honestly, I think I'd be on the dog side here if it wasn't for the whole prison thing and the lack of training. And I think D-Rod's a dog, bro. I mean, everyone just thinks Medich is going to spark him, but like, when have we seen D-Rod get sparked? We saw him get head kicked by Ian Gary, but outside of that, the guy is durable as it gets. He's a dog.
Right.
I just think it's unbelievable that people are so high on Medich here. Like,
right. I think this comment is probably a source of good value. Like, if this was in Mexico, I'd be taking D-Rod. Like, if it's on neutral soil, like, the line would be closer than this, right?
yeah.
I get Medich is a great story. And he's a guy that I going back to the Matt Semmelsberger fight I've been on in a lot of spots. I bet him by KO against Jeff Neal in that Houston fight. But this line seemed crazy to me, dude. Medich is
I forgot how good he looked against Kevin Holland. I mean, Kevin Holland is not a bad fighter, bro. I mean, Kevin Holland versus Medich would probably be competitive.
I was going to say, overall, in terms of different lengths of fight, different things bringing to the table, isn't Kevin Holland a tougher fight than Uros Medic? Like, I know Medic's power is a big deal, but he's a little bit of a glass cannon, defense issues. We haven't ever seen him go into a third round. Like, there are a lot of questions to be
look at the KOs Medic has just gotten. Gilbert Urbina, who's getting sparked left and right. Muslim Salikov, who got sparked.
Randy Brown, yep.
Who got sparked by Carlos Leal. No, he won that Carlos Leal fight, but
Randy Brown.
By Randy Brown.
Yep.
And then the last fight, Jeff Neal, who was coming off of some KO losses, right?
Yep.
He was coming off of the protest beatdown.
Yep.
Back elbow. I'm just not ready to get there in Uros Medic, bro. I think Uros Medic is just like on his high horse right now. He's super confident, but you know, if you don't get D-Rod out of there in the first few minutes, like the way he's been getting all these guys out of there, I don't know. I just think these odds are super wide. You get D-Rod by KO at plus 550 on Hard Rock right now.
Yeah. I wish I got a better version of D-Rod. He doesn't look to be in the best shape, and of course he's near 40 after everything what happened. But this guy's work rate is outstanding. Significant strikes landed north of 7 per minute. You know, if you remember, I was on him against Kevin Holland in that fight, and I thought, you know, he's a tough guy to put out. He's got really good anti-grappling in a lot of instances. That probably won't be a factor here, but it's like Medic is a guy that we saw get put out. Like, Urbina dropped him in that fight, and we've seen him put out by Puna Soriano. I don't even think it's crazy D-Rod wins this fight in round 1. And then, I as I mentioned and I posed to our Discord earlier today, I'm like, if this fight leaves round 2, isn't it D-Rod's to lose? Like, he's the guy that has all this deep experience, and Medic typically goes for broke in these spots. So it's like,
the fight that hit round 2 is minus 120.
That's really good news for Daniel Rodriguez, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I think there are a lot of ways. If you like Medic, maybe you play a more of a 2-3 angle. If you like D-Rod, my model even kind of likes decision for him because he's not a guy that has a lot of knockdowns historically, just 0.55%. But, you know, maybe does Medic feel any of the jitters of being in his hometown? Does he have a little bit more of a conservative approach? Because he's like, okay, I got 5 rounds I got to go if I'm going to try to get this guy out of here. Like, any of those factors come into play, and Medic round 1 KO at a very short number all of a sudden doesn't look very good. So
yeah, D-Rod lost muscle in jail, blah blah blah. His son beat him in wrestling, not sparring.
Yeah,
and he was probably hyping his son up. Let's be honest.
Right. The Joe Anderson burrito rule: we do not listen to fighters around here.
I just think people are way too high on Uros Medic starts in D-Rod around 1. I would rather fade that narrative.
Am I remembering correctly that Medic was a dog with Salikov? If he wasn't, it was like space.
Medic what?
Was it dog with Salikov?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
But it feels like he's had this meteoric rise in betting markets when I still feel like he's roughly the same guy. I feel like he's a glass cannon, knockout artist, haven't seen the longevity, 0 grappling upside. Like we know Medic has a defined ceiling because we saw
in 30 seconds and just January of 2025 by Soriano.
Yeah.
He
exactly.
By oral by, choked out by Jalen Turner. I mean, when he fights good competition, he's getting finished.
Yeah.
Outside of the Jeff Neal fight, you know.
Could this be like the China card? Maybe a Canada card where all the big hometown favorites. Yeah, I certainly think a few of them are overvalued.
Never been finished by strikes, by punches.
Yep.
Not once in 25 fights. And yet we're so confident that Medic is going to starch him in round 1. I just think at the end of the day, you're pretty much just banking on the fact that D-Rod has regressed from prison, and he hasn't been able to train, and then that's literally the narrative that you're banking on at this rate. But D-Rod has 4 submission wins, by the way. So D-Rod's submission is 12-1. His decision is 14-1.
Do I remember correctly? Did he get Dwight Grant in UFC, or was that a KO?
Let's say it again.
Did he get Dwight? Oh, he got Tim Means with a guillotine. I was asking if he got Dwight Grant in a crazy there were 4 knockdowns in that first round against Dwight Grant.
Yeah, those punches.
But he guillotined Tim Means, but seemingly everybody does. So
yeah, that's the only problem. Yeah, I can't get there on the submission even at that price, but
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he went to a split decision with the Leech, who has crazy power. Kevin Lee at the distance with him. I mean, he's been through everyone, bro. Ponzinibbio, he finished. Morono went the distance with Kelvin Gastelum. Again, Ian Gary's the only guy that really put him away by strikes, and that was literally just a head kick.
Yeah.
And I don't think really Medic has that in his bag. Like, he's just more, these big hooks and power punches. But
yeah,
I just don't understand it.
Wow. I feel like I'm going to have to play some of these ladders. Fight to start round 3 is plus.
D-Rod's kind of a good story to root for here, too.
Yeah. I try not to let that impact. I mean, obviously, so I have Medic a minus 150 favorite here, which, that feels accurate to me. He is the younger guy, although he's not a spring chicken at 33, but he's the younger guy. Not much attrition. I can't believe Medic fighting the way he does is only lost by KO once. It was to Puna in that fight.
Yeah.
Because it feels like he is so defensively, that defense second, and he's just looking for the knockout. You really respect it, but
yeah. Yeah, I don't know really where I'm going to be putting money down in this fight, but I guarantee I'm not going to be on the Medic KO or the Medic round 1. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
He might get it, but I just think it's unbelievable that I think the price is completely fucked.
Right. And the more we get away from that outcome, the more and more you risk him losing the fight outright, which is a little I think if you're especially a parlay bettor, there are going to be a lot of parlays with Medic coming home. It's really think about your angle, because what exactly do you like about him beyond the first round of this fight? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Now we're weirdly in unison there, so congrats to Eros Medic by winning by first round knockout. But you ready to build some parlays, bud?
Let's go.
All right. To be precise, we have had some really already, so we're going to choose the best ones here. We're hoping you guys brought some heat. Still looking for a winner on this regard, guys. We had what was the one last week? We had Walter KO, Sam sub.
Yeah.
I want to say and that was backwards. Matty, you've been there with the backwards grind before. All right, let's take a look here.
Well, we did. That's the biggest slip I hit was for 25K. We had both guys by finish, which was nice.
Yeah, that was good. That was a really nice slip. And,
we knew what the most likely outcome for both guy was, but the value was on the other outcomes for each of them.
Can you imagine if you laid that slip down and then it was the other outcome for each guy, and you're so lucky you took ITD on this because it was unexpected? That would have been crazy. It could have been either guy seemingly by whatever they want. Thomas Peterson continues to let me down. But beyond that, let's look at these super chats, bro. So we got Eros Medic 234 KO, Tibura inside the distance, Valentine.
Nope.
I love the courage. I really do.
All three legs equally.
Chepo KO, Medic sub, Navajo fight to go the distance.
Hell no.
Medic sub is crazy. Bogdan Grad KO, Mateusz sub, Sterling decision 26-1. Oliveira KO, Rebecki sub, Rakic decision 15-1. I think that's pretty good
for sure.
Well, we got a top of the board here for sure. We got Klein submission, Dusko KO, Sterling decision.
I'm out on Sterling.
Okay, could always keep in mind with these Sterling decisions, you could always go fight goes instead.
Yeah.
Because these are crazy long shots. Valentine sub, Bogdan KO, Rakic decision.
I'm not betting on Dusko to get sub for the first time.
Agreed. But our guy Big Maple, you know why they made the Serbia card so we could make it all back from Abu Dhabi. Perfect. Bogdan Grad KO, Gunyan sub. There was that sub you were talking about earlier, and Blahovic decision at 163 to 1.
Oh man, the first leg scares me.
Could just play that ends KO, but you said Dennis scorecards wasn't bad.
Hold on to that one. Maybe
Okay.
maybe the second and third leg I would keep, but keep going.
I'll bookmark it. I by the way, Big Maple, I think Blahovic decision donation. Sorry about that, but no Valentine sub. Yep, Oliveira KO, Valentine sub, Bazookia decision.
Why does everyone like Valentine sub so much, boys?
Well, it's the same guy sending it over and over again.
Oh my god.
Oliveira KO, Borislav sub, Rockets decision. So Borislav against Volodine there sub. That's not bad. I like KO for Borislav though.
Yeah, that's not bad though.
All right, let's take a look at this one. Oh, that's Valentine sub again. Boy, oh boy. How about this one? Bogdan Grad decision, Chepo KO, Dushko sub 31 plus 31.48.
It's decent. I think I'm just scared on Chepo.
The way you guys are all over Bogdan Grad makes me feel so good about Bazookia. I might bet him right when I get off this show.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
Because you guys have not been hitting these super chat lays. I hate to say it, but Urosh KO, Leka sub, Blahovic decision 40 to 1 on Hard Rock.
Oh, I'm out.
J Money, appreciate you by the way though, sending the odds there as well from Hard Rock. Oliveira KO, Borislav sub, Bazookia decision 53 to 1.
I'll pass.
I have two currently set aside. Klein submission, Sterling 3 decision, Dusko ITD 47.
I'm out on.
You sound so exasperated by some of these. This one's not horrible. Urosh KO, Dusko sub, Rockets decision plus 2,600.
I would maybe do that. Fight ends by KO the first leg, but
okay. Maybe we'll think about it. But Leka sub, Oliveira KO, Blahovic decision 51 to 1 on Hard Rock. Fading my guy Popik though.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Okay. By the way, we appreciate the massive number of these. Well,
crazy, bro.
Dushko ITD, Oliveira ITD, Bazookia decision. I like that one. 28.
Too.
Okay, you want to hold on to that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Urbino KO, D-Rod KO, Jan KO.
God, bro. 500 to 1 on 3 underdogs by KO.
You literally could throw $50 on that to win what? 25 grand?
Bro, I might have to take this just because it's so fucking crazy. Hold on, I want to see what that is on Hard Rock.
With all due respect, that shit is not good.
Bro, I think I might take it. Hold on. Let me take a look here. I gotta see.
It's supposed to be fun though, and that is super fun.
I just gotta see what it pays out of curiosity. Urbina KO plus 1,000.
Yeah.
D-Rod KO plus 525. Blahovic KO plus 800. 617 to 1, bro. So what? Like,
you put 100 on it. What's it pay?
I was looking to win $1 million, bro. 16 1,600 pays $1 million.
Matty, $1,600 on that parlay?
It's $1 million though.
Jan Blahovic can't even lift weights anymore.
Bro, Blahovic is a live dog, bro.
Oh, it pains me we're so opposite on that.
Nobody likes Blahovic except me in the whole world right now, though. I feel like Jan Blahovic is gonna fucking. The problem is I like Blahovic money line. What if I took out Blahovic KO and went money line?
I honestly, bro, you could just probably parlay all 3 of these money lines and still get a long shot out of it.
Yeah, but Urbina's KO or bust. Well, no, he's not because he could get a submission.
I like the sub for Urbina if it goes longer there.
Oh man, Urbina can't knock out a bowling pin. I kind of want to do it. I'm doing it. It's going to be crazy content.
Congratulations,
I'm going with it.
Mariano Ortega 24. You're in. Gilbert Urbina KO, D-Run KO, Jan KO. Guys, he's the long shot legend. He gets to pick. I suppose I could get one, and I'll throw $10 to $20 on it for you and see if it can go through. But I honestly haven't really liked any of these ones that I've gotten so far anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of Lecca or Valentine sub or Oliveira KO. Like I kind of like other angles there. Tibera decision, no thanks.
Pays $500,000.
How much pays $500,000?
800 to $500,000.
Now that's a more appropriate amount to put on that parlay.
Yeah, but if it smacks, I'm gonna be pissed.
Guys in chat, is that shit hitting? Yes or no? Yes or no? As I've been talking, I've been trying to figure out what the safe parlay is going to be.
Bro, this is so electric. 3 underdogs by KO.
I would say Blachowicz decision's probably most likely, but Navajo's got such a good work rate. I think he might be KO or bust.
I don't know. Blachowicz was piecing up Izzy a little bit. I know he wrestled him, but he pieced him up too.
Yeah.
I just love Jan Blachowicz, bro.
I do too, man. I really, I'd like to see him put together a good effort on Saturday because he's been one of my favorites for a while. Let me ask you a question, buddy. Do you like the over in Grad Bazookia better or the over in Rakic Tibera?
Probably the Bogdan one, just in case Rakic fucking head kicks Tibera.
Okay, let's see if I can get total rounds here. 1.5. Okay, how about this, bro? On Hard Rock right now, again, we're looking to bounce back from a tough safe parlay week with Dustin Jacoby. Borislav Nikolic money line. You said he's the best favorite on the card. I agree with you. He's one of my favorite favorites. So Nikolic money line, and then we get all outcomes, and then Grad Bazookia over 1.5 rounds. That pays plus 105 put together.
Say that one more time.
It's Nikolic money line against Vologdin, and then Grad Bazookia over 1.5 rounds.
I like it.
Yeah, I got value on the over there in this fight with. I got value on the over in this fight to go the distance with. Oh, hey, we got some people that like it in chat. Heck yeah, let me put this in chat then. Our safe parlay this week is going to be, we got Nikolic money line, as well as we have Grad Bazookia over 1.5. The Mike Davis total hit no problem last week. It was just poor on my guy Jacoby, but I'd ride with him again, man. In a kickboxing match, I said I would pay to see it, but there's our safe parlay up on the screen. Did you guys slip yet, Matty?
No. I haven't bet a single thing yet, bro.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you put in the 800 to win $500,000 on that ticket that I made out love, but
I want to see what Twitter says.
You're waiting to see.
Yeah.
What do we go?
No, I'm definitely gonna bet it since he gave it to us, but it's a matter of how much.
What's the locks, Matty? What's your favorite exact outcome? What's the lock?
My favorite lock is fucking Mark to lose, bro.
Vologdin, yeah.
That's my lock of the card.
I'm gonna go with Todorovic money line. I played it today for 2 units. I really think Dushko should be. If it's not a pick'em, Rob Zilla's just so bad at everything that isn't a offensive submission.
I can't believe Dushko's a dog like that, bro.
Comment. I didn't know we were going full Jan by KO tonight. It's crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff. Yeah. Fellas, we gave out 5 cards on the show tonight. I think we did well. So we gave the people a safe parlay. We have a super chat picked, whether it'll be for $800 or $50. My guy Mariano is in. I think we did pretty good work, Matty. Now, unfortunately, you'll have the cycle by Friday, correct?
Yeah. And
then we got long shots only with you and Hey Jam. I'll see if I can stop by again, even though my long shot wasn't very good at all this past week. But that's why I leave it to you. Next week at the Apex Pro, though, we got Mateusz Gamrot and Quillen Sal killed. That is Sal killed for a real fight because he got Benny Dariush in his last fight. that one I feel like it's going to be a real test for him.
Yeah.
Gamrot's a guy that's always been underrated. So you'll have that. I'll have my stuff coming to Home of Fight. I already have my DFS projections out on homeoffight.com. I will have my prelims primer coming out this Friday as well. So I appreciate you guys supporting the content. Everything good I got coming on my Twitter at Swaim3. He is on Instagram, Telegram, all sorts of socials at Matty Betts, just like it's spelled on the screen right there. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We have almost 2,000 live viewers. You guys are crushing it, as well as several others that listen later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Wonderful stuff. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Peace out, everybody.